We're looking for attachment to the Constitution. We're looking for an understanding of the civic responsibility of being a U.S. citizen. We're looking for actual understanding and ability to read and speak and write the English language. And frankly, this test is just too easy. I am declaring war on fraud. I am declaring war on anyone that is coming to this country and wants to get a benefit but doesn't want the responsibility of what it means to actually be a U.S. citizen.
The Trump administration is overhauling the U.S. citizenship test and making it harder. They say it's to root out widespread fraud in the immigration system. Changes are going to have a higher bar for passing and potentially an essay requirement. And I think this is really important because it kind of goes back to our roots as Americans, Liz. When you came to this country, you had to learn how to speak a certain amount of English. You had to take this test. You had to pledge allegiance. You had to show that you were doing things to contribute as a citizen here, that, you know, if you're coming legally. The standards have become very, very lax. Things have changed over time. We opened our border and said, you know what, you don't even have to take that test. You can just come on in and get lost somewhere and disappear. Nobody's going to really do anything about it, although we are now. Having said that.
Yeah, I think this goes back to the first Trump term, when they put forward some proposals on immigration that made a lot of sense and, by the way, were very popular with Americans. To wit, let's choose who comes into our country. Let's identify people who can contribute, to your point, Jackie, as Canada does, for example, people who have career skills that we need, people who, yes, speak English and aren't such a drain on our public schools because they need dual language education, et cetera. And all that sort of, unfortunately, it never went anywhere. But I honestly think right now is the time for an immigration overhaul. I think we have to approach and talk about what to do with the people in the country illegally, but who have been here for 20 or 30 years. My view is those people get alien resident status. They are never allowed to become citizens, but they do become legal so they can work and pay their taxes and so forth. But also, in terms of who we invite in, get rid of the diversity lottery, which is one of the most horrifying things we have in our immigration program. Really begin to make it clear that we're going to select people on the basis of their achievement, their talent, their capacity, and yes, how much they love America and want to be here.
That guy was really compelling.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Edlow, I think, is his name. Here's what he said. This I love. I don't know how you systematize this, but he said, this is the core of it. We need to know more, especially if we're going to really understand whether someone has a true attachment to the Constitution as required by the statute. That's it. Like, are you in on a constitutional republic or not? And if the answer is no, it's not like knowing a federal holiday, right? We're a constitutional republic. So I don't know how they do that, operationalize that. But I am totally, that has to be the standard for whether somebody has the privilege of being a citizen of this
Yes,
country.
I agree. And can you imagine if they posed that question to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez? I don't think she could answer it. I don't think she really would be able to tell you.
I know, that's a sad irony, is there's a lot of current citizens.
Yeah, we're expecting some of these immigrants to be more accountable than I suspect some of our own people. But conceptually, yes, I agree. You should be able to define what that is and why you want to be here, in your own words, if you can't necessarily put it in fancy terms.
And by the way, that would make very good future voters. I mean, those are the kinds of people you want voting in our elections. People who really understand our government, understand what they're voting for.
My mom taught, I've said this before, but she started an English as a second language program in the county in which I grew up to teach people who were getting their citizenship how to speak and write English. And it was an amazing experience for her. This was decades and decades ago. But I was at a naturalization ceremony not long ago. And one thing that struck me is a number of the people who had just become citizens, they didn't know the words to the Star Spangled Banner. And they were some of them were faking it. Some of them didn't even care. They just sat there like this.
This is recently.
Yeah, it was just a few years ago.
That's offensive.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you kind of should know that or care. One of the questions on the citizenship exam is, what's one thing Benjamin Franklin is famous for? How's that? I know Ben Franklin. Yeah, okay. Why is that relevant? Yay, free libraries. Poor Richard's Almanac. He was the postmaster. I think that it goes to the point of we needs to be a little more in depth. Like, name one of the longest rivers in the United States.
There used to be a sense of real pride immigrating here legally, taking on that responsibility and contributing, having offspring here and making them part of the population as well. And it just feels like people are now coming for free stuff, thinking that they're going to get a better deal here than wherever it was that they were. And I know we're trying to put an end to that.
A lot of people were very excited, and it was a very glorious moment for them. But there were some people who had just become citizens. Yeah. And I was expecting something different.
Bring the pride back.